All Access. My name is Andrew Siciliano. Thank you for watching as we head towards the weekend. Colleen Wolfe joins us shortly. She's hosting, and she'll have an interview with Jameis Winston. We begin this one with news out of Jacksonville about the quarterbacks. Doug Marrone on Good Morning Football today gave perhaps his strongest comment yet that he does support Gardner Minshew as his starting quarterbacks, but at the exact same time, he also said they're going to keep their eye open.
Is he the quarterback, or what are we doing here, Coach? Who's the quarterback of the Jaguars moving forward?
Yeah, he's our quarterback. There's no doubt about it. And, but one of the things that we're doing is we're still looking to, make sure that we're, upgraded at each position. So, we're still looking. I mean, there are some veterans out there that we might, look at to bring in, along with the young guys that we have.
All right, Tom Pelissero, we like Gardner Minshew. We could always look for a veteran, however. Translate that for me.
Well, Andrew, when the Jaguars traded Nick Foles to Chicago, that was a pretty clear sign they believe Gardner Minshew can be their starting quarterback on a more permanent basis. But ideally, you would always like to have a veteran in that room. Minshew is 24 years old. The rookie sixth-round pick Jake Luton is 24. Josh Dobbs is 25. Andy Dalton is one player who is available, of course, after being released by the Bengals yesterday, who has a familiarity with Jaguars offensive coordinator Jay Gruden, a logical fit. Jacksonville has an interest there, but there are several teams involved as well. Not moving as quickly as we might have expected. Could be until the weekend until we know where Dalton is headed, Andrew.
We do know this, though, in Jacksonville. Leonard Fournette did not get his fifth-year option picked up Friday. He wasn't the only one, Tom.
Well, this decision came down about an hour ago on Leonard Fournette. He was productive last year, had over 1,100 rushing yards, but we also know the history of discipline problems, whether or not he fitted into the culture, and the Jaguars have been trying to trade him in recent weeks. This actually makes Fournette more tradable potentially, since he now would only be due about $4.1 million in 2020 and then would not have that injury guaranteed extra year onto his deal. A couple other options that were declined among top picks: Corey Davis of the Titans, Solomon Thomas from the 49ers. We know the Browns already picked up Myles Garrett's option, which means there's only one left in the top five from the 2017 draft. That is Bears quarterback Mitch Trubisky, who is now going to be fighting Nick Foles for that starting job. Bears have a decision to make on him by Monday.
Again, that is a May 4 deadline to pick up fifth-year options for the 2017 first-round picks. Thank you, Tom Pelissero.
We're all at home at this point, and now more than ever, our local communities need our help. You can do a few things to support your small businesses, like order food to go, you can buy gift cards to use later, and just shop local online. Visit Verizon.com/payitforwardlive for more information. Well, it's a draft tradition like no other. Grades. And these teams are the star students according to NFL.com. The Ravens and Cowboys topping the list there with A+. As we bring in our professor, Steve Mariucci. All right, Mooch, listen, we've talked about teams like the Cowboys, like the Bucs, who could make a big jump this year. But what's a team that people are sort of sleeping on at this point that could really surprise people this upcoming season?
Yeah, well, let me give you, Colleen, a team that was middle of the road last year that I think could jump into the playoff race. The Las Vegas Raiders. Boy, that just doesn't come off your mouth that well. Las Vegas Raiders, 7-9 last year. But you know what? I think they benefited from the Khalil Mack trade. All right, they have continuity in the coaching staff and systems, and they're ready to go. It's going to be really exciting. That fan base is going to be crazy over there. It's a fresh start for the Raiders. I expect them to have a pretty darn good season and probably jump into that wild card spot. I don't think they're going to leapfrog Kansas City because the Chiefs are good in that division, but I think a wild card. All the free agents, they got three guys from Dallas, Jeff Heath and Malik Collins and Jason Witten and Corey Littleton from the Rams and Nelson Aguilar. They got some guys, and then speedball Henry Ruggs and Damon Arnett. I think the Raiders are going to make a push for the playoffs next year.
They had an incredible rookie class last year. And when you think about it, week 17 last year, they had clinching scenarios even after they lost 5 of their last 6. So this could really put them over the edge, this year's class. But listen, how about another team out there that is going to be a little bit more competitive this year than they were last year? Who's the team that you have on the top of your mind?
The Miami Dolphins. And when a coach stands up in front of this team in training camp and he says, our goal is to, or whatever, to say, yeah, our goal is to win the Super Bowl, that's all well and good. But some teams, that statement is more realistic than others, okay? The Miami Dolphins were 5-11 last year. Brian Flores did a nice job keeping hope alive. But you know what? They got a lot better. They had all kinds of draft choices in free agency too, Eric Flowers and Ted Karras and Jordan Howard and Kyle Van Noy from the Patriots and Byron Jones. They got better. And then we know about their draft with Tua. They drafted a couple of offensive linemen that are going to be good players. Austin Jackson from USC and Robert Hunt. Google them. That story is unbelievable. But I want to mention Malcolm Perry. He was the quarterback of Navy, all right? Colleen, did you ever watch Navy? They run a lot of option, all right? He's going to play receiver or running back or whatever you ask him to do. And the interesting thing about Navy, Air Force, and Army guys right now is their service is going to be deferred if they play pro sports, all right? So he can come and make this team and play for a month or 10 years, and then when he's done, then he can serve his country for a minimum of 5 years after that. I love the rule that's in place right now for these academies. It'll make them all better. But Malcolm Perry is going to be a fun story, a fun guy to watch. But both of these two teams are going to advance, and that's what you do. You take all of your free agents and your cap money and your draft choices and make the most of them and improve your team. Both of these teams did just that.
Listen, my dad was in the Air Force. I love that so much too, Mooch. I can't wait to see what these teams are able to do this year and what those prospects that the Dolphins drafted are able to do on the field. Mooch, we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Still to come on NFL Total Access. 3 Jakes, a Joe, a Jalen, a Jordan, a Justin, and a Tua. But one of these picks is not like the other. Not because of the letter T, it's because of the letter A, as in an A+ from Mooch. Who gets it? And who guessed it? That Jameis Winston's journey would take him from Saints rival to the Saints roster. Jameis Winston is our special guest on backing up Brees and watching Brady at his old place.
Man, I can't wait to compete against those jokers. Like, it's going to be fun. I'm in that black and gold now, so I'm going to be like, who that say they're going to beat them Saints, baby?
That's next in Florida. We have a lot to talk about with Jameis, but first, let's get you this next-gen stats powered by AWS. And how about this from Mr. Jameis Winston? When you think mobile quarterbacks, Jameis probably doesn't pop into your head, but last year, nobody was more efficient outside the tackle box. 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, and the Saints' new man joins us now.
Jameis, listen, man, you have been busy. You got married, you signed with the Saints, you're doing all sorts of stuff in the community. I mean, do you even sleep at this point, or do you just like plug yourself into the wall at night?
Well, I'm doing my job. It's no comparison to our frontline workers and people that are out there staying in front of this COVID-19 and being so courageous right now. So shout out to them. I'm just doing what I love to do.
Listen, congratulations on so many different fronts, but I want to talk a little bit first about obviously your new place, the Saints. So tell me a little bit about what went into your decision and how did you know that was the right decision to make?
Well, it was tough at first, just because I was I didn't know what to do, but it became easy just from guidance, wisdom from friends and family who helped me. And just my belief in Drew Brees and my belief in Sean Payton and what the Saints are doing over there at that organization. And I'm excited to join them.
So why did you decide to go with them rather than go to a place where you could compete for a starting job?
Well, I just think it was a time for me to learn from one of the best. And also being in the same division, I get a chance to play against Tampa Bay twice and get a chance to play against some of the same teams similarly, even though Carolina has a new head coach. So that was a positive there.
What's your relationship like with Drew? I saw a tweet that the Saints had retweeted that when you had a question, Drew Brees is one of the few quarterbacks that would get back to you with an answer. Is that true?
Yeah, one of the few. I met Drew Brees when I was younger, when I was in 6th grade, and he's just so humble, and he's such a great guy. He's an excellent husband, excellent father, excellent football player, and he's a great mentor to a lot of people. And I'm just happy that he texts me back. You know, I don't think I text him as much as I should have texted him, but he was very kind to me.
What were you asking him about? What were some of the things that you guys have gone back and forth about?
Well, I asked him, you know, in terms of studying the run game versus the pass game, and I'm not gonna tell you his answer on that. But I also asked him in terms of you know, how to get more accurate on throws to the left, you know, about his footwork and about his base, just different quarterback nerdy stuff.
Listen, you're obviously in New Orleans now with the team. So, but you know Tampa Bay better than anybody. So what is Tom Brady inheriting with that team?
Man, he's getting his quarterback room with Ryan Griffin and Blaine Gabbert. He's getting a great quarterback room there. Those guys, I love them. They're going to compete. They're going to push him. He's going to get an excellent receiving core, especially after the season that Chris Godwin is coming off of. And you already know Mike Evans is one of the best in the game. I'm going to miss them, but I got a great number 13 that I could throw to too. But he's going to get a great team. Man, I can't wait to compete against those jokers. Like, it's going to be fun. I know Tom is going to bring his relentlessness, his attitude there. But it's going to be fun, and we're going to be ready to compete. We always been competing. When I was at Tampa, we got them sometimes. They got us sometimes. Last year, they swept us. So I know they're going to try to come and get us this year. But I'm in that black and gold now. So I'm going to be like, who that say they're going to beat them Saints, baby?
So I know that you've always been really, really involved in the community, obviously, in Tampa Bay. I'm sure that's going to be the case in New Orleans too. But right now, I know you've been doing a lot with the COVID-19 relief. So tell me a little bit about what you have going on, because you have a couple things, right?
Yeah, well, the first thing I had going on, and I want to get this out there, is me and a great friend of mine, Dr. Scott Kelly, developed a toll-free hotline for people to be able to call from the luxury and the safety of their own home without going, to ERs and to the hospital with concerns of their symptoms or anything really, just to try to keep, practice social distancing and keep everything safe. During this crisis, a lot of people have been panicking because we had a lot of misinformation. We had things that we didn't know. This is completely new to us. So now you have the ability to call this hotline, 844-TEST-COVID. That's 844-TEST-COVID, and get all the information that you need. If you are affected by the virus, we can connect you to 911 immediately. And if you're not, you have information from the CDC, provided from the CDC, to kind of put your mind at ease a little.
That's awesome. All of your work in the community has been really nice to see. So, Jameis, thank you so much for spending some time with us here today. And best of luck in New Orleans. Enjoy yourself there.
Hey, and speaking of quarterbacks, out of 255 draft picks, the total number of quarterbacks selected was only 13. And the total number that get an A+ from Mooch, well, that's only one. Who gets it and why he deserves it? That's next.
Category 3 hurricanes left more than 1 million people.
NFL 360 coming up on Sunday with a look at some of the best stories in the draft. Another great draft story we told you here on NFL Network last week is that of Prince Tega. He among the 10 draft picks by the Eagles. So how does PFF think the team did overall? Here's George Shahuri.
The Boo Birds made plenty of noise on draft weekend in Philadelphia, but I'm here to tell you the Eagles had themselves one heck of an NFL draft. And it all starts with Jalen Reagor. Reagor is the perfect fit for the Eagles passing game. He's an athletic freak of nature, earning the best PFF athleticism score of any wide receiver in the whole draft. Yes, there's more to athleticism than just a 40 time, trust me. Reagor didn't have the production of a CeeDee Lamb, but he also wasn't given much of a chance, thanks to poor quarterback play at TCU. But when he was given the opportunity, Reagor was special. He gained 15 or more yards on over half of his catches. He's a big play, just waiting to happen. After Reagor came the pick that really got the people going, Jalen Hurts. But we shouldn't be so down on Jalen. He earned the highest PFF grade of any QB in the class, not named Joe Burrow. Hurts may not be the anticipatory thrower that some want, but his accuracy and ability to add a running dimension from the QB position gave him the second highest PFF wins above replacement projection behind only Burrow. The chance that Hurts turns into a valuable starter should not be written off, in addition to the strong possibility of being a valuable backup and the ultimate chess piece for Doug Peterson. The later rounds brought value as well, with dynamic athletes on defense in hybrid linebacker safety Davion Taylor, slot coverage maven Kayvon Wallace, and offensive tackle Jack Driscoll from Auburn, who PFF projects as the 78th most valuable player in the draft. The Eagles scooped him up at pick 145. The arch nemesis Cowboys got all the fanfare, but the Eagles went stride for stride. It's time to get the popcorn ready for those NFC East battles this fall. Fingers crossed, of course.
Listen, everybody cross your fingers right now. So Jalen Hurts, as you saw, the only quarterback selected on day 2 of the draft. Don't expect to see a whole lot of him or Jordan Love this season if things go right for their respective teams. But taking a look at this entire rookie class, which quarterback is in the best situation overall? Let's send it out to Mike, Rob, D-Hall, and JJ.
Which one of these quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round, which one of these guys do you think is in the best situation? James, I'll start with you on this one.
I love Justin Herbert, man. I feel like he came into an unbelievable situation with the Los Angeles Chargers. You have Mike Williams, who can go up and get the ball with the best of them. Don't need a lot of separation, but can go up and get the ball with the best of them. Then you got Keenan Allen, who I just talked about, who off the line of scrimmage is special. Baller. Can create separation in any route. So it's going to be clear to Justin Herbert that he is wide open. Then you have one of the great upcoming tight ends in Hunter Henry that can make a bunch of plays. Then you have Austin Eckler in the back. He came into a great situation with a lot of weapons to succeed, and that can make it real easy on him. And he has a very good defense as well, too, so it's not all on his shoulders to win ball games. I feel like he's been placed in a very good situation to succeed in Los Angeles.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say Jordan Love. After watching what Matt LaFleur has been a part of as a coach, he was a part of watching RG take us to a playoff as a young quarterback on a rookie contract. He was a part of watching Jared Goff's development and him taking the Rams to a Super Bowl as a young quarterback on a rookie contract. Aaron Rodgers makes a whole lot of money, man, like almost $30-some million. I don't mean to count nobody money, and Aaron Rodgers is worth every dime. But also as an organization, I see the value in having a rookie quarterback or a rookie contract at the quarterback position, because I can spend that money on a lot of other players at other positions. And so I think, Jordan Love's in a really good situation because, as Mike Robb keeps telling me, that this Green Bay system is what wins games, not necessarily having one of the best quarterbacks in the league, which Aaron Rodgers no doubtably is. I think they're more so leaning to a system type of quarterback to run their system. And I think Aaron Rodgers got a year left in Green Bay, man. And I'm sorry.
Mike Robb, we're just going to have to wait 4 years to see yours come through. That's it.
Oh, what you talking about, man? I love my man Tua out there in Miami, man. And people may say he might be in a bad situation with a bad team, but this guy's explosive in the passing game. The only question is his health. And I think he's healthy enough to put this team back on track. Chan Gailey knows how, the offensive coordinator down there in Miami, he definitely knows how to get the best out of quarterbacks. But we'll see which one of these young quarterbacks ultimately is in the best situation.
Thank you, guys. All right, Mooch, let's do some draft grades here presented by Lexus. You heard what the guys had to say, talking about Herbert, Love, and Tua. But what say you? Which team did the best job drafting a rookie quarterback?
All right, Colleen. Well, let's talk about the tale of two cities, all right? In the Queen City of Cincinnati, they number 1 pick, Joe Burrow. They give him the keys to the car. Now that Andy Dalton's not around, he's got to start. They got to force feed him to grow up real fast. But you know what? They've helped him with drafting a T. Higgins. In free agency, they spent a lot of money on defense with DJ Reader and a new secondary, Train Waynes and McKinley Alexander and Von Bell and those guys. But Cincinnati people, have patience. It's a tough division. And then in the city of brotherly love, Colleen, where you are from, Philadelphia, pick number 53, Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have the keys to the car, but he's going to ride shotgun right there. And you watch Carson Wentz. He'll tell you where to go, all right? And you know what? He's going to learn the West Coast offense from Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson used to play backup quarterback to Favre when I was coaching in Green Bay. He's a smart guy. He's a heck of a coach. And they're going to use Jalen Hurts, whatever. I don't know how many Philly specials that they're going to have. He's like the mad scientist over there, Doug is. But you know what? Jalen Hurts is a quick learner, and he's going to be ready to play quarterback if and when that is necessary, okay? But both of these fine cities did a nice job drafting another quarterback.
Mooch, this was a pick that surprised me. I'm not going to lie. I texted you right when it happened, so I have a lot more questions. We don't have time to answer them here. I'm going to take that conversation offline. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Mooch, for a great show today. Everybody have an amazing weekend.